get started around 7:05. Let some stragglers hop in here, but feel free if you can leave in the chat what your main offer is and where you are from. I will be right back. Welcome to the people who are hopping in right now. We're going to be starting at around 7:05, letting some of the stragglers come in. If you can, go ahead and leave a comment in the chat of what your main offer is and where you are from. We have a lot of Dallas people here. Amazing. Bloss. Good to see everybody. How familiar is everybody with AI? Let's get a good feeling of where we're at here as we wait just a couple more minutes before we get started. Welcome. We're going to get started at 7:05 sharp. We're going to let some of the stragglers hop in. Super excited for today. If you can, turn your camera on so I can see your beautiful faces. And while we wait, if you can, go ahead and put in the chat what you do and what your main offer is. Do a little bit of networking before we get started. Awesome. Good to see everybody. We're going to get started in about 3 more minutes. Thank you so much for your patience. We're going to let some of the stragglers hop back on. Hello, Kelly. Good to see you. She says she's from Chicago and the main offer right now is one-on-one health coaching, but working on building courses. Awesome. Good to see everybody. We're going to be starting at exactly 7:05 sharp. In the meantime, go ahead and leave a comment in the chat of what your main offer is and where you are from. Cheyenne sells houses, and the main offer is teaching overwhelmed realtors her AI system. Oh yeah, we definitely know realtors need to use AI so that way they can start answering their text messages. I'm just kidding. Awesome. How many real estate people do we have here? We do have a lot of Dallas people, I see. We're starting in 2 more minutes, and then we're doing a deep dive. I will say what we're going to be doing today is a little bit different than what we usually do. So if you've been on any of our previous calls, you see it's like your average, your normal webinar where we sit down, we go through some concepts, we teach some things, you walk away with a list full of notes. Today's going to be a little bit different. And I will admit, I am a little bit nervous, and I'll tell you why. Because what we're doing is I'm revealing behind the scenes, behind the scenes of the system that we use to basically run our entire business. And this is the exact system that we also install for our clients as well. So I'm super excited. It may be a little bit messy. We may come across some, roadblocks along the way, but I want this to be as authentic as possible so you can see how to think about AI in real time. And our goal is going to be to walk away with an offer, a funnel, and a full content bank. We have Jaden Rose, a PMB, sell investor loans, bridge DSCR in Washington State. What is PMB? Break that down for me. Good to have you from Washington State. You guys have perfect weather right now. Awesome. We're getting started in just one more minute. We have a photo management coach. My main offer currently is one-on-one service to create clients' legacy photo book. Steve or Seve, whichever, how do you pronounce your name? That's awesome. That's awesome. Tell us a little bit in the chat what a legacy photo book is. And then private money broker. Awesome. We have hit 7:05. I'm super excited to see everybody here today. I'm going to make Carlos a co-host so I don't get distracted. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My goal is to keep this at 2 hours max. Okay. I'm trying not to go over because we're going to be doing a deep dive. I recommend if you have your favorite AI model, ChatGPT, Claude, have it up. I want you to walk through some of the processes we're going to be going through today. And I would love to see your faces as well. If possible, turn your camera on so I can see who we have here on this call. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me one moment. Awesome, awesome. Perfect. So like I mentioned before, what we're going to be doing today is going to be a little bit different than what you see typically on these workshop trainings, webinars, because I just want to show you behind the scenes. I've done about 15 presentations this year, virtual, in person. And what I find works best for me is what I call nerding out. I just want to use all of my brain power, show you how we're using AI. I don't want to talk high level concepts. I just want to get my hands dirty and show you how we're coming up with these prompts and these tools that we're building with. And whenever I notice the difference in the flow state that I would get in whenever I'm doing in-person events versus virtual events, the key difference was that in in-person events, I felt more comfortable because I could pull out my computer and just show you step by step exactly what we're doing, exactly what the systems we build. Versus virtual, we get caught in this loop of just teaching concepts and not actually getting down into what's actually working. So this is a live build. We are going to be teaching some concepts, but my goal is to just move with speed, not just showing you what buttons to click. So I'd love to hear in the chat, how comfortable are you with AI right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am an AI wizard, and 1 being I barely know how to work a computer. Go ahead and leave a comment in the chat so I can kind of get a good feel of what we're working with today. If you are in that, 1 range, I challenge you to watch this recording after this call. So that way we can make sure you can stay ahead. So I also want to point out that with the system that we're building, with the process we're going, this is going to create velocity, speed, momentum for your business, specifically if you are in a certain position right now. So what we're going to be doing is basically giving you rocket fuel for your business. This system is rocket fuel. So imagine if you put rocket fuel in a lawnmower, it's going to automatically explode. So if you're a beginner, you're just getting started, you're not sure what your offer is, I challenge you to look at this and kind of envision what your future business is going to look like. But if you already have a proven offer that's making a minimum $10,000 a month, this is going to be for you. This is going to help you reach your next $50,000 in 1 month rather than stretching that over in the next 2 to 3 months, especially because we have the holidays coming up. So if you've been on my previous events, you know, one of the favorite things I like to kickstart and really build the energy up here is by playing a little game of true and false. So let's see what we have here. So start out, we have go ahead and comment in the chat. The business with the best product always wins. Do you believe that this is true or do you believe this is false? Let me pull up the chat here. False. False, 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 false. Thank goodness we have people who understand. That is correct. The answer is false. The business owners who make the most offers wins. You could have the perfect product on earth, you know, it's going to give you eternal wealth, eternal youth, but if nobody knows about it, then it's not going to do anything for you or for your bank account or for all the people that you're wanting to impact. So if you think about it, how fast can you put out an offer? How fast can you go from having an idea to actually getting it out to the market? Let's get that up to speed. Speed is the only metric with getting offers out there that matters. Next one, true or false? AI copy converts lower than human copy. What do I mean by converts? It makes more money. It gets people to opt in. True or false? Leave a comment in the chat. AI copy converts lower than human copy. Kelly says false. False, false, false. All right. This one's a little bit of a trick question here. The answer is it depends. I've seen some really, really bad AI slop recently. The thing with, you know, going into 2026 is everybody is using AI, but they're not using it in the best way. Because you can test 10 different variations of AI copy, but if you don't understand what actually works, what differentiates whether AI ChatGPT is giving you garbage or if it's giving you something that's actually valuable, then, you know, it's not going to serve you by any means. So we're entering the age of infinite average content. The only way to win is by building out an AI clone or an AI system that allows you to spread your authenticity at scale, which is a fancy way of saying getting your voice to multiply without you having to be responsible for writing every single thing. So my prediction with this is that the people who not only are able to build trust, but also showcase their authority, showcase that they have the ability to communicate well through their social platforms, those are going to be the people who win. The people who continue to post just very basic, hey, happy Easter posts, or here are the 5 top things you need to know about our industry. That's no longer going to cut it. The simple, you know, rule of just be consistent on social media, that's dead. It's better off you just don't post at all than be consistent with content that's going to actually dilute your brand in the long run. So let's get you to step away from that and get you away from also, you know, being paid a high paid employee. I want to take you out from being a bottleneck with the system we're going to be going through, because I want you to be able to take yourself out from being the chief everything officer to now being able to push out quality content, funnels, offers at scale. So anybody here a perfectionism or struggled with perfectionism? Yeah, we're going to throw that out the door. We're getting that out. We want to get out of the perfectionism paralysis. You'll see with the speed that we're going to be going into the demo in just a moment is we are constantly testing. That is a good thing about AI. And that is honestly the best way to think about it. It's with AI, you need to think about it as testing iterations, testing different hooks, testing different headlines, figuring out which one is going to work best by A/B testing until you get one that's actually going to perform, that's going to get more clicks, that's going to get more conversions. So rather than trying to find the perfect headline, the perfect hook, the perfect content idea, let's start testing them until we get to one that works. And we're going to continue to use that until it doesn't work anymore. And then we go through that cycle again. And so it starts getting really fun because marketing becomes this giant experiment rather than something where we're trying to constantly chase a trend. So the goal for today, or the keyword for today, is speed. So let me give you an overview of the process and the system we're going to be working through. And I'll also show you some of the tools we're using. So if you don't have it already, if you don't have our 7 AI bots that we've built, you can message me CMT on my Instagram and you'll be able to follow along throughout all of this. Or you can use one of these 3 tools. So we're going to walk through the BBM framework. So we're going to start by inputting your voice. So this is everything about you, your story, everything that makes you unique. We're going to put that into your AI clone. And then we're going to go and start with brainstorming through ChatGPT. We're going to build out our marketing process, or build out our offer through Claude. And we're going to make sure this is all mapped out and organized in Notion. So why do I do it this way? I brainstorm with ChatGPT because it's really good at high level thinking. So the intention of being this call is building a marketing system to turn and generate leads into customers. We use ChatGPT to brainstorm, to act as our brain, our strategist, our board of directors. We go into Claude as basically our as our C-suites, the people who are going to actually execute on the tasks. I honestly never have my ChatGPT write any of my emails. I always go to Claude to write my emails, and I'll show you side by side the difference between using each of these. Once I map everything out and I build it through Claude, I make sure to keep track and organize every single thing in my Notion system. The reason I use Notion is because it has AI embedded into it. So we're layering AI on top of one another so we don't have to become these master prompt engineers and have a collection of 100 prompts that we're always referring back to. We're not doing that. Instead, what we're doing is we are going to embed this all together so it starts running like a well-oiled machine. So if we do this the right way, if you are able to map out an offer, get clear on your ideal audience, then you'll be able to see some results like this that we have through our clients. So I believe this was in early September. One of my friends came up to me and said, hey, I want to launch an offer. I don't know anything about funnels. I don't know anything about emails. I don't know anything about a CRM. Can you help me build everything out? We went over to her house and we built everything out in less than 48 hours. We got it launched through a content system that we installed as well. And she basically generated $2,000 out of thin air with less than 4,000 followers. So you don't need a big audience for this to work for you. You just need to follow this exact process. Another one with less than 10,000 followers was we had a client come out. He had, I believe it was a high ticket offer of around $7,500. And we started installing the system. We built out the funnel, the offer, the content, and the emails. We launched it and we were able to generate $41,000. And I believe this was 60 days or so. Yeah, looks like about 60 days. So you can see if you follow this process, you're going to be able to install a system that has been able to generate results like these for some of our clients. So we are about 15 minutes in. Who's ready to see behind the scenes of how this actually works? Thumbs up? Okay, perfect. I don't want to do too much talking because I can yap for days about AI. So let's share my other screen. There we go. All right, can everybody see my screen okay? Thumbs up? Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to recommend some tools. These are the tools that I use in my tool belt. I don't want you, a big philosophy is mine is don't get so caught up in all of the new tools that are coming out. You know, yes, there's new features, there's new AI coming out every single day, but half of the time that's going to be a distraction if your goal is to make money for your business. If you want to be an AI enthusiast, you want to talk about AI 24/7, then maybe keep up with that. But don't get caught in that trap of using a million different tools whenever we can condense it to a quick few. So the tools we're going to be using today are going to be Go High Level, ChatGPT, Claude, and Notion. And that's it. That's 4 tools, I believe. And so you'll see this is the process we're going through. And let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to skip this. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, so this is the 48-hour straight line method. Let's go over a quick overview of the process we're going to go through, and then we're going to go through it live. I'm going to time myself so I can see how quickly and efficiently I can do this. And if you have any questions throughout this process, anything that stands out to you, feel free to leave a comment in the chat. We'll save answering all those comments at the end though. Okay, so what is this 40-hour straight line method? These are 7 steps that we take at any point whenever we are launching a new offer. So what an offer means is, for instance, who here has a Black Friday offer that they're launching basically right now? Conrad has one. If you could go ahead and leave it in the chat, I'm curious what we have in here. So what an offer is, it's going to be what you are presenting to somebody in exchange as an exchange of value. So an offer could be as simple as giving somebody a free ebook. It could be giving somebody a specific service that's going to take a specific pain away from them. So what we're always going to want to start with, and this is contrary to what a lot of marketers say, is we're always going to start with competitor research or market research. That's the first step of any marketing process that we're doing moving forward. And I'll show you the AI browser in just a moment after we just do this overview. So what do I mean by market research and why do we do this? I do market research to study the market, to study my competitors, to see what's working for them and how I can just take it 10 degrees and make it 10 times better. Okay, if you try to sit down in front of a blank Google document and come up with the best ideas and sliced bread, most likely nobody's going to be interested in it. Especially if you're just getting started or you're looking to scale to the next level, always look at your market first, see what they're saying, and offer them exactly what they want. And that's what competitor research is. The next step of this is injecting your soul, making this personal to you. So this is going to be the brand story. This is where we're going to map out your exact story from how you got started in your business to where you are today, to where you want to go, and some of the pain points, the obstacles that you face throughout that process. What we're going to use a brand story for, we're going to use that in our content so that you're able to relate with your audience in the future. So we have competitor spy, the brand story. The next one we have here is the offer builder. So you'll notice that each one of these segments has a specific name because we built a specific AI bot to do all this stuff for us. So back then we had one team member specifically focus on each one of these nodes. Now we have an AI bot that does it, and we're going to show you that process. So an overview of what the offer builder does is it gets a good understanding of what your core offer, what your main offer in your business is. So an example might be is if you're a private money lender, that's your core offer, but you may have supporting offers to get people there. Maybe it's a free ebook. Maybe you have a special that you're doing for your investors. It could be something like that. That would be a supporting offer to your core offer. Another example might be if you have a coaching business, your core coaching program could be a high ticket program of $10,000, but you have supporting offers of, let's say, $997, which may be courses or a free one-on-one call. So you have your core offer and your supporting offers. The offer builder gets a good understanding of that, and it allows you to create a messaging document that allows you to basically speak to the soul of your clients. So I'll show you a preview of this in just a moment, but the offer messaging document is going to fuel the next step of everything. And so you'll see with each of these steps, they're all flowing into one another, we cannot skip a step or we're going to miss some crucial information. So next one we have is the funnel mapper. What this tool does is it maps the customer journey from somebody being a complete stranger to going through an exchange of money, to giving you money, to making sure that you get paid. Another example of a funnel mapper is taking an existing client and upselling them into an alternative package. So that's what the funnel mapper will look like. The next thing we have here is the lead magnet tool. So what a lead magnet is, it allows you to attract strangers to collect their information into your database. So a lead magnet could be an ebook, a YouTube video, a free resource, anything of those means. Then of course we have content. How are we driving traffic to our offer? And then we have our email sequences. Email sequences, their intention is going to be to nurture your audience or guide them to the next step. Honestly, these email sequences are going to be where a lot of the transactions are going to be made. This is where a lot of money is made here, is in the email sequences. Email sequences can be broken down into, let's say, 3 different parts. It can be broken down into confirmation emails, such as the emails you received after you registered for this event. You could also label them as newsletters. That's also considered an email sequence. So newsletters will look like sending an email to your entire list to promote a specific event, offer, just keep them updated. And of course, email campaigns are going to be whenever you're promoting a specific product and you're doing a whole marketing campaign towards that. Okay, so that is a general overview of the 7 steps that we're going to be going over today. We have a lot of new people who just joined the call. Welcome, everybody. What we're going to dive into now is I'm going to show you an overview of what the system looks like in action, and then we're going to start building out an offer live, okay? I'm excited. It's 7:25. Let's see if we can build out this entire system in less than an hour. I'm challenging myself here. Typically, there's people who have entire teams that go through this process and it takes weeks of strategy, weeks of getting approvals and confirmations, and half the time they don't do the market research. And so it ends up flopping. So we're going to start off with doing an overview of what I mean by each of these. Perfect. So we're going to share the screen. Okay, perfect. Can everybody see my screen right here? Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. This is a bit of a bigger screen, and we're going to dive in. Awesome. So let's look at the tools that we have here on our screen right now. Here on the left, I have Notion. And here on the right, I have, it looks like a normal browser, but this is a new tool that ChatGPT recently came out with called ChatGPT Atlas. Go to give me a thumbs up in the chat if you've heard about this. If you haven't, let me just change your life really quickly. If you already have the $20 a month version of ChatGPT, you already have access to this tool, but you may not be using it to its full extent. We're going to use this tool to start off with, specifically for the competitor spy. Right? So for context, what this tool is, it is called an AI browser. What an AI browser does is it connects directly to your Google Chrome. So I'm logged in to all of my profiles already. And it basically replaces Google Chrome. It replaces Google. So instead of the search bar giving you a Google answer, it's going to go through ChatGPT. But I can also, as you see with some of these recommendations, I can now have it go and perform specific actions. So some ways that we're using it for other clients is we're having it audit meta ads. Look at all the meta ads, look at all the data, help us make a decision. And it's reading the entire screen for us to do this. We can have it go through a competitor's entire funnel and look for ways to make it better, to make it a little bit different. So let's do a competitor research here. what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and put this prompt in the chat. If you're following along, feel free to use this. This is my Dream 100 prompt. What this prompt does is allows you to create a list of 100 of your competitors, people who are directly aligned with your offer, people who are similar to your offer, et cetera, et cetera. The more research we do, the better. Basically, what we're looking to study here is what is our audience looking at and what are they engaging with? And how, if they're engaging with that content or with that offer, how can I get them to my offer over here? By making it just 10 degrees better. So we're going to go in and just put this prompt into here. And I'm going to give it the context of just my offer. Another fun tool that I use is I use a tool called Whisper Flow, WISPR Flow. So what this tool does is I never type anymore. I don't use my fingers to type anything. I just use this tool to talk to text. So what you're going to see here, I just press this button on my keyboard and I'm going to tell it, fill out this prompt for my specific offer, which is helping expert operators, market their brand, help with AI. You already have all the context about my business because of all of our past conversations. So fill this out and execute on the prompt. Is my microphone muted? Oh, great. Because I restarted my computer.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. No, I don't want to type. I restarted my computer, so okay. Execute on this prompt for my offer, please. There you go. Enter. So I'm going to have it create this Dream 100 list first. And then from there, I'm going to pick maybe 1 to 2 competitors where I like their offer. And then I'm going to do some research on their funnels, on their content, see what's working out for them. So you'll see here, it's creating a list of direct peers, adjacent influencers, industry leaders, and accounts that attract my ideal clients. Justin Welsh, Dan Coe, Rabi Abuvala, Steph Smith. Oh, Myron Golden. He's one of my favorites. This is really accurate. These are people that I study 24/7. And if you want evidence of that, we'll show that in just a second. I'm getting excited. You guys are going to start seeing my nerding coming out. All right. So we have a list of people here, adjacent influencers. Great. This is beautiful. Now, if I were just starting an offer from scratch, my most important thing is going to be start collecting and organizing this data. What I see happens a lot is people who have really, really good conversations with their ChatGPT and they don't save it in an external source. So they're like, oh man, ChatGPT said something really good. And they have to constantly swipe through the conversation to get back to that one small snippet. So I challenge you to start collecting all of this. So what I would do is I would copy the Dream 100 list. Almost there. That's good enough. Okay, great. And I would go into my Notion. So now we're going to look into Notion. What Notion is it is basically a build your own dashboard, build your own project manager, build your own client relationship manager. It basically does everything as long as you are able to build it or come up with the idea. Another cool thing about Notion is it has AI embedded into it. So not only does Notion sort through all of these documents that I have in here, or sort through everything that I've saved from my ChatGPT into here, but it can also connect to my Slack channel, my Google Drive. It can connect to all of the tools that I use. So it always can reference this data as a source. So what I just did is I copied and pasted my Dream 100 list, and I'm going to add it into my SOP library. Why would I do this? I would want my team to be able to reference these 100 people whenever my team does market research on my behalf. So we're going to do this. Saved. All right, let's pick one person to start breaking down and studying. We're gonna look at, I want somebody specific to AI. What is that one girl's name? Carlos, you might be able to help. She does a lot of summits. We get a lot of her ads. She looks Hispanic. Do you remember?
Is it Alicia?
Yes, Alicia Little. Anybody here heard of Alicia Little?
She's white. Colin Faulkner.
I love it. Yeah, it's funny. I've never heard of Callan before. Interesting. Okay, so this is Alicia Little. She does something different than what I do, but her audience would be kind of similar to mine. She helps people become AI enthusiasts. So it's in the AI realm. So we're getting a lot of information on her. I want to know, what is her most current offer? She has an AI consultant certificate program, AI impact grant, and she's also speaking at events. Let's look at her AI consultation program. And so it's going to automatically pull this up for me. And so this is going to be really cool. So we just pulled this page up. Let's let it load. Oh no, she doesn't let me pause. That's okay. Okay, so now that we are in ChatGPT Atlas, it can read everything that is already on the screen. So I don't have to take a screenshot anymore. I don't have to copy and paste everything that's on her funnel. ChatGPT is automatically reading the screen on my behalf. So what I could do here is I can click on agent mode. What agent mode is going to do is it's going to act as an assistant and go and control my computer to do specific tasks. So what I could do is I could have it reference the top 100 list and study all of those people's top offers. Let's see if we can do that now. Study the top 100 list and find all of their best offers, put them into a Google Sheet with the name of the creator, the link to their offer, and also the pricing if possible. Perfect. Let's go. Awesome. So now while I have the competitor research going and working behind the scenes, you can see here that the AI is taking control of my computer and executing on the task for me. So this is why the AI browser is so powerful. I've used this not only for studying other people's offers, but also studying the content. So I can pull up somebody's Instagram page and study all of their best hooks. And in fact, I've done that. So while that's working, I can show you social hooks. Oops. Social media hooks. Oh, I'll have to find it later on. All right, we're on a time crunch. Let's go on to the next step. So now while we are studying this, let's see. Oh, find 100 lists. So find 100. See, look at the Dream 100 list and find all of their best offers. There you go. Okay, perfect. Ran out of my plan. That's okay. So that is what's really powerful about the AI browser, is that it's we have, but we also have a tool built in that we built to be able to do this for you. So if we look here, let's see here, back to the live demo. So we're going to open up my competitor spy. So if you don't have access to Atlas or a tool that we have built that does all of this, oh no. Okay, are we back? All right. My computer's freaking out a little bit. Bear with me here. Good. Can everybody hear me okay? Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Okay, so another tool that we have here, just in case you either A, ran out of credits with ChatGPT Atlas, or B, you don't have access to that tool yet, is we do have a tool that we built here as well called the Competitor Spy. And this Competitor Spy is trained to do the exact same thing for your brand and for your offer. Again, the goal with this here is I'm looking to study what my competitors are doing different than me and what's working, if it's working, if the market has any feedback on that, and how I can take that feedback for my own and for my own offer. So you'll see we have this tool here. I'm just going to type in the password, MagnetFlow 2025. Awesome. Perfect. And what you're going to see here is it's going to ask you for any specific competitor data. So you can use a tool such as glass.co. This will allow you to get the transcripts from YouTube videos of any of your favorite creators, people who have similar offers as you. So that way you can study their YouTube content specifically, and you can use it as inspiration for your content if needed. You can also attach some of your competitors' social media links, and it'll go ahead and search all of their social media for the best hooks, the best content, and what's performing for them. So this tool is really, really powerful to do so. So let's go ahead and get back on track now that I showed you the AI browser with what the next step is going to be, which is a brand story. And we're going to go ahead and click on the next tool to do so. So now that we've done our research, we have our Dream 100 list of all of our competitors. Now we need to figure out what's going to differentiate us from everybody else. If I am, let's say, a realtor, there's probably 100,000 realtors in my area. How can I make myself different than everybody? And the answer to that is going to be your story. So we need to get your story documented on paper, even if that means, how did you grow up? Where did you grow up? What are some ups and downs or obstacles that you faced in your life that impacted the character of who you are or got you into the business that you're in? It's very important to document your story because we're going to use this to train your AI clone in the future. Your AI clone is going to be the one responsible for writing your content, writing your emails, building out your funnels. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the password here, MagnetFlow 2025. And I'm going to show you what this looks like as we're starting. Perfect. So it's going to prompt you to create your story transcript, okay? So it's going to ask you soul questions, journey questions, and transformation questions. Some examples of these are: what future do you believe is possible for your clients? What core belief drives your work? What didn't work before your breakthrough? And how is life different now? Even if you are in the process of going through your breakthrough, we want to get up into the point of what made you want more for yourself, right? So you're going to use this specific bot, the story builder bot, to be able to document your story. And we're going to save this into what's called a knowledge base. What a knowledge base is, and I have it here in my Notion. There it is. What a knowledge base is this is an area where we're going to store very specific personal information for you. So as you can see here, we'll go ahead and click and open this. You'll see we have a bot that guides you through everything as well. And we also have templates that help you keep everything organized. So we're going to go through here. So this is an example of how we've documented our story in the past. We'll have it side by side with our client. On one side, it's going to have the questions that the AI bot is going to ask you. And on the other side, you can use a tool such as loom.com or an AI note taker such as fireflies.ai, or what is another one? Fathom.ai is also a good one. And what that's going to do is it's going to transcribe your entire call. So you're transcribing yourself or you're recording yourself, documenting your entire story, answering all of these questions. And this is an example of what the transcript looks like. So you would want to copy the transcript, copy and paste the transcript into this document. And we would use that to start studying your voice. So for instance, what is your tone and vibe? Do you say you all or do you say y'all? What are some common stories that you tell? This AI, with some of the prompts that we've mapped out here, is going to start looking and tracking all of that. This is what allows your content to think like, to sound like you, to talk like you, to have your mannerisms, and to really just make sure it stands out from everybody else. So we use a brand story document to not only document your story and inject soul into your content, but also to inject your voice. The next step of the offer builder is building out our supporting offer. So ideally, if you're on this call, you already have a core offer for your business. For instance, we have Jaden, who is a private money lender or private money broker. We have Cheyenne, who's a realtor. We have some coaches on the call as well. That is your core offer. How can we create supporting offers as a stepping stone to get somebody to your core offer? Especially if your core offer is a high ticket offer, anything above $5,000, you'll want to have supporting offers to build somebody up to be able to invest that amount into your business. So what this offer builder is going to do is it's going to allow you to figure out what would be the next best offer. Ideally, what we would do in this situation is we would take the research that we got from our Dream 100, from our competitor spy, and we would funnel this into our offer builder to have this help us create some ideas for our offer. Let me show you an example of what this would look like. So we would go to the offer builder bot that we built out here. And we have a bot for everything. What do I mean that we have a bot? We have a custom GPT trained with a specific task, with a specific goal, and with specific knowledge to make sure it consistently gives you a certain output. So here we have our offer builder. We're going to type in the password. We do password protect ours as well because we do, give these to our clients. We want to make sure they stay protected. So I'm going to say reference my story. Usually what we do as well, and you'll see this in this process, go back a bit. In this process, we input a form, okay? So with this form, and I can pull up this form so you can kind of see what this looks like. There it is. This form allows us to get a lot of context on who we're working with. So the way that we build out our forms is through fillout.com. Think of fillout.com as Calendly and Typeform had a baby, and that's Fillout. So we don't use Calendly at all. We use Fillout for everything. So with this, we have them fill out a form, and once they fill out that form, they're going to get a document that they're going to be able to upload into their offer bot. So you'll see here it's going to ask about their ideal audience, what outcome they're purchasing, false beliefs, what is their current offer in process, their story and voice, how would they describe it, any specific market research or people that stood out to them, any existing funnels or landing pages that they've built if they have any, and also any additional case studies, documents. We basically want to get a full understanding of what their business looks like, and that's what this form does. So once we have that form, you're going to see here that this offer bot is going to ask for that workbook. So it's prompted to expect this. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to say, use my memory to fill out the workbook. So if your core offer is in beta or you haven't fully built it yet, I would recommend focusing on doing the market research, figuring out who is already doing this offer and executing on it well, and how can you make it just 10 degrees better. Don't try to go out and start with something new. make sure that your offer is already validated in the market. Otherwise, you're gonna have a really, really hard time getting started. So use my offer as in. Ooh, this is good. I have strict rules for my ChatGPT. All right, let's upload it. All right, we'll upload. Okay. So let's come up with an offer. So my offer is helping entrepreneurs implement AI into their marketing and sales processes. The problem that they're stuck in is using too many AI tools and not getting results. They may be confused or lost. To help me come up with an opportunity matrix and some offer ideas. There you go. All right. Fill out the workbook on my behalf. All right, it's giving me some trouble because I haven't filled out the workbook, but it shows you what that process would look like. So what I'm going to show you rather is going to be coming up with an offer and using the offer messaging document. So this is the process that our team usually goes through to get started. In our Notion system, we have a specific offers and funnels section. So this is where we keep track of all of our offers. You can see this past year, we came out with 21 offers, which is around 2 offers a month. So always continue making more offers. Every single offer is organized here with the different types: workshop, lead magnet, course, upsell, done for you system. And of course, we're going to create a new one. So I'll test this new one here. So this allows us to keep track of not only all of the details with the offer, but also, the launch dates and all of the funnel sections that go into this as well. So you'll see here, we have a funnel map section in the offer messaging document. So whenever we think about creating funnels, lead magnets, content, these 3 yellow steps right here, we want to make sure that we have consistent messaging throughout each of them. How do we do this? This is a problem that we had whenever we were just getting started. Is I would have an amazing idea for an offer. I would have a specific way or specific pain point that I would want to communicate to my audience, but my team wouldn't be able to translate that because we didn't have a consistent document to communicate that. So instead, what we did is we created this template right here. So let me break down what this template does. So this is what we call our offer messaging template. With this template, this allows us to document what the offer includes, who it's for, what problem it solves, and how we talk about it and how we share it with our audience. So it's basically a fill in the blank top document that we have our AI fill out. So that way I can share this with all of my team members, and now they can go and execute on everything, and the messaging stays consistent. We want to make sure our messaging stays consistent. So we're not saying that we're giving away muffins on Instagram, but we're really giving away pizzas on Facebook, right? We want to make sure it's all consistent on all the platforms. So the reason that we use this is to avoid confusion, keep the same language, make sure everybody understands the offer as well. So what this looks like is I'm going to start off with talking to ChatGPT about my offer idea. Again, if we go back to this circle here, we use ChatGPT mainly just for brainstorming, okay? So what does that mean? I don't use ChatGPT to actually execute on tasks for me. I recommend getting away from ChatGPT to actually do business things for you. A lot of the times it hallucinates, it comes up with things that just aren't true. Claude is typically more reliable, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this copy button here, and I'm going to go to my ChatGPT. And I'm going to go to my competitor research. So we're going to refresh. But we're going to look at the offer that we analyzed. I believe that Alicia Little had done. We'll use her as an example. I believe it was this one. Awesome. So here's what I'm going to say. So we're using our competitive research and we're going to make an example offer. So I want you to analyze Alicia Little's AI consultant certification program, and I want you to make recommendations on how we can make this 10% better for our audience. My idea is that instead of being an AI consultant, we create a certification program for marketing teams to be able to learn these systems and implement them on behalf of businesses. So that way a business owner can have the confidence to understand that their marketing team is equipped with the best AI tools, systems, and processes. Just an offer idea that I came up with at the top of my head. Awesome. Now let's working this up. So in this market research stage, I just asked it to make it 10% better, right? So again, if you're just starting out with your offer, how can you make current offers 10% better? So this is her current offer, and then it makes recommendations for an angle where instead of targeting specific people who want to be AI consultants, these would be people, we would now be targeting essentially the business owners who want to make sure their marketing teams are AI certified. Because most founders don't want to become consultants, they want their existing marketing team upgraded. That's good. Then it makes recommendations on how we can make this better. Awesome. I love this. Oh, and it even laid out the marketing system certification. So for the sake of example, we'll go ahead and approve this. Let's go ahead and approve this offer. I want you to go ahead and fill out the exact prompt below. So now that we have this test offer mapped out, which is going to be an AI certification program for marketing teams specifically, I'm going to come into here into my offer messaging document so I can make sure my entire team understands how to communicate this through our funnels, through our emails, and through our content. So I'm going to copy this prompt. I'm going to paste it into here. And we'll have this fill it out. Perfect. Now what I'm going to go back and do is I'm going to name my offer here, the AI certification program for teams. I'm going to click here under offer messaging document. And here, let's make sure it has everything it needs. Perfect. Let's give it the full template here. Awesome. And we're going to delete this and we're going to replace this with the full template. What is the offer name that we want to go ahead and have this verify? So we'll label this as we'll keep it simple as AI marketing team certification. So let's see here, what price do I want it listed? Let's go ahead and just do it at 3,500 for 3 seats. Sell to founders or executives for their teams. There we go. Okay, awesome. So now it's going to go ahead and fill out that template. I'm going to copy and paste all of this as soon as it's done. Again, what I'm going to be using this for, we're going to take this into Claude. I'm excited for this part. Have this fill it out. Yeah, so Shamaya, to answer your question while this is going ahead and completing, what you're going to do is you're going to start off with using the Dream 100 prompt that I pasted earlier in the chat. You're going to want to get a list of your top, essentially 100 competitors or industry leaders, and you're going to want to find maybe, let's say, a list of 10 that really align with your brand, with your voice, with your values, and you're going to want to study their offers. So you're going to have AI figure out what the most current offers are, and you're going to ask your ChatGPT how you can make it just 10% better. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy our offer messaging document into here. Completed. Awesome, perfect. So what this process would look like moving forward is I would give this document to my team, right? So they would have direct access to this. And now we start going into the fun stuff. So we're in the process now to where our offer is built. We have our offer messaging document. Now we can start mapping out our funnel. So I'm going to go back to my ChatGPT because again, we use our ChatGPT for strategy. What I'm going to say here is, so let's create a lead magnet to get people to this funnel. I think I want the flow to be lead magnet, book a call, confirmation flow. So what I'm doing here is I'm documenting the steps that I want my clients to go through. But of course, if you don't have that mapped out yet, what I can actually do is we're going to copy this. Let's see if we can connect my other tools into here. All right, my ChatGPT is being crazy today. So I would go into my funnel mapper tool. So what you would do in this is we'll go ahead and open this tool. I'm going to type in the password. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to paste the offer messaging document and I'm going to ask it to create that funnel mapping flow on my behalf. So magnet flow 2025. Awesome. Let's go ahead and copy and paste our offer messaging document into here. This is our living, breathing document that's going to fuel everything that we're doing moving forward. So use this as the workbook. All right, let's fix this a bit. So once you get this, once you purchase this, you'll have direct access. I'm going to update this here just for the sake of example. All right, we have this updated. My prompts are so good that they won't even let me in, which is crazy. All right, it wants me to follow the rules, which I'm not very good at. All right, so use this as the workbook. All right, let's start a new chat. I think 5.1. Yeah, let's go back to 5. So the password is magnet flow 2025. Use this as the workbook. So once you purchase these 7 tools, it's going to give you the workbook with the form to fill out every single one of these steps. So that way the process is more seamless. Again, I'm just using this very, would you like me to? Yes, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Awesome. So what this is going to do now is it's going to ask each one of these tools, these AI bots that we've built, it's going to prompt you and ask you questions. So that way you don't have to come up with the prompts. I don't want you to become a prompt engineer. This is going to treat you like a human being and ask you these specific questions. So you'll see this question it's asking us here is, what is the biggest challenge right now? Not enough people know I exist. People see my stuff but don't join my list. And so once you start answering these questions, it's going to essentially diagnose you the best funnel for your situation. So with this, I'm going to say, I want you to create the lead. I want you to recommend a funnel flow for a lead magnet for this offer. Perfect. I love it. Okay, so identified my ideal client, the core problem, offer promise, and the desired transformation. Awesome. Custom lead magnet funnel map, step 1 awareness, step 2 nurture. Awesome. So the lead magnet it recommends is the AI team readiness audit. I don't hate that. So I'm going to say, give me 10 different options for lead magnets. See how top marketing teams use AI to plan, create, and optimize campaigns. The founder's guide to building an AI marketing team. Let's go with number 5. Go ahead and create the funnel map for this. Awesome. This is exactly what we need. And it's already making some recommendations for content hooks and the headline so we can start building out the landing page. So you'll see each one of these tools is guiding you towards the next step. So you don't have to guess, what do I need to do? You'll see here it has this arrow that's going to make a recommendation to after somebody opts in, it's going to go to a thank you page and an optional invite to AI team systems workshops. So this is really, really good. I like this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to my Notion system. And this is all built out as a template, and you'll make sure to get this as well. So we're going to go lead magnet, after opt-in, thank you page, optional invite to AI systems team workshop, live or replay. That's a pretty solid offer. So where are we at in this process? We had some tech trouble. We're 30 minutes in. We've completed the competitor spy, the brand story, the offer builder, and the funnel mapper. Now we have a clear journey of how we're taking a stranger into a brand new offer that we're launching. The offer that we have here is our AI marketing team certification. This offer was inspired by Alicia Little's certification program. And we have our full offer messaging document mapped out here with the full breakdown of who our target audience is, their core problem, the breakthrough insight, solution, deliverables, what to say, what not to say. That's good. Don't say AI hats or ChatGPT tricks. Do say AI systems or AI workflows. Beautiful. So now we have everything that we need to start building. Oh, and we also have built out our lead magnet. Perfect. Awesome. So we also have this tool right here, which is our lead magnet builder. So now that we have a good idea for our lead magnet, we're going to want to put it into here to go ahead and execute on this. Let's have this tool load. Perfect. We're using 4.0. Beautiful. Let's go back to our lead magnet. So this is our lead magnet here. And so what this tool is going to do is actually going to build out your entire lead magnet for you. Everything it's going to say, how you're going to deliver it. So you basically just need to read over it, confirm, add any additional context or information. Ways I've done this in the past is I'll upload my previous YouTube videos or recordings that I've done from speaking on stage, and I'll upload into here. So that way I can repurpose those assets as lead magnets to get more people through the door. Because sometimes people don't have the attention span to watch a full hour video, but they will read a 5-minute document, right? So we'll go ahead and have our lead magnet, build out our lead magnet. So I'm going to say, use this. we'll upload our offer messaging document into this as well. And I always have two screens side by side so I can move very quickly. Beautiful. How fast was that? It's insane. Awesome. So it's just verifying for us. Do we want to make sure this is a template, cheat sheet? What is the format for this? I'm going to go with, let's continue with our founder's guide to building an AI marketing system. I want this to be a mini guide, no more than 3 pages. Perfect. Awesome. So you see here, it's starting to map out each of these pages. Page 1 is a wake-up call. Page 2 is the 3 shifts to build a smart AI marketing team. Page 3 is the next step. So I would just need to verify this outline. Maybe I'll say, for page 2, can you make these 3 shifts a bit more painful to really dig into the internal beliefs that may be holding them back from having already built this AI marketing team? So in my head, I'm thinking, if somebody is getting a lead magnet, this is going to be most likely an emotional decision that they're going to make. I want to make sure that we're building that accordingly. Perfect. So you can see here, now we're getting into the psychology, which is what makes people buy. Internal belief, we just need the right tool, but you've bought the system, watched demos, and still don't have repeated output. Why? Because tools without centralized knowledge always breaks down. That's good. We just need to try harder or hire somebody. Nice. So each one of these is now guided to break an internal belief they have. Awesome. So you'll see here, it's prompting me to go ahead and build out the final blueprint. I'm going to say, build out the 3 pages and write them out for me. Beautiful. The founder's guide to building an AI marketing team. We don't need that right now. Awesome. So we have these first 3 pages here. That's a good rough draft, I would say. I can already tell, I haven't read the whole thing, but it's not the best. But I'm going to come into here and I'm going to add this under lead magnet so I can make sure everything is organized moving forward. Done. All right, we're halfway through building our offer. We've done the first 5 steps, and now we get to the most exciting part, which is building out the content and the email sequences. So for content, we're always going to want to think about it with these 4 E's: educate, engage, entertain, and empower. Some example of this is educate, you're teaching concepts or challenging some of the limiting beliefs that they have, educating them on a new perspective. Engaging is, it may be controversial concepts, misconceptions that you can present. Of course, we have entertain. This is where you show a little bit more of your personality. This can be a little bit different for everybody. This could even be just simple behind the scenes content. And of course, we have empower. So this is going to be testimonials, case studies, even your transformation story will empower your audience to take that next step with you. So we always keep that in mind whenever we are creating our content. So how are we driving traffic to our offer? If we're going to map this out, the way that we're going to do this is, we'll think about this as almost like a bakery machine. We have the traffic going through here into this funnel. At the bottom of this funnel, BOF, this is called bottom of funnel. This is where people are ready to take action. They're ready to take the next step, even if it's something as simple as a free lead magnet. They want to get on your list. They want to know how they can actually work with you. So then they start going on to the conveyor belt. So let's just imagine this is a conveyor belt. They're going to start with something that is most likely free, such as a webinar, a free guide, a free video, a free replay. And our goal is to slowly ascend them to our high ticket offer, or whatever our core offer looks like. So for a marketing agency, this might look like getting somebody on retainer. For a real estate agent, that's going to be making sure you get that contract signed. This will look different for everybody. But our goal here is to get somebody to where they're ready to spend the big bucks with you. Of course, we have supporting offers throughout or different pathways in which we can get somebody here. Some examples of this might be getting somebody to book a call. We could have course sales. Maybe you sell a course for like $297, or would be another idea. Or you do paid workshops. We're going to call these paid workshops here. So we're getting somebody into the door with this lead magnet, and now we can start directing them into this final step here. So we're keeping that in mind. And our goal right now is to get this traffic generated so we can get them on that conveyor belt. Another way to think about a conveyor belt is your email list. So majority of the time, the reason somebody joined your email list is because they want to learn more about what you do, and they want to learn what it's like to actually work with you. So your email list is going to be a huge driver for your business moving forward. We want to make sure that's built up and nurtured, so that way you get good open rates, you start building trust, and you can start really just, you don't have to rely so much on content, because your Instagram could get shut down tomorrow. And if you don't have an email list, then you're basically left with nothing. So think of your email list as a huge asset for your business. So hopefully this drawing kind of paints the picture. Now let's go into Claude to really start building everything out. For these first, let's say 6 steps, we're heavily reliant on these on these AI tools that we've already built for you. So whenever you buy these tools are going to guide you through each step of the process. So you know exactly what to do, what the next step is. These are essentially going to hold your hand throughout that process. So let's start with the email builder. Just to reiterate what I've mentioned a couple of times before is I use ChatGPT as my brainstorming tool, and then I go to Claude to execute. So everything we've done up until this point is essentially brainstorming our offer. What is our lead magnet going to be? And now we're going to go into the final steps of finalizing this. So I'm going to change this to 4.0. Magnet Flow 2025. Let's upload our offer document. We're always starting our conversation with our offer messaging document. So I'm going to put password and then workbook. Awesome. And so you'll see here, it's going to prompt us to ask us, what kind of email do we want to create? Do we want to create an email sequence, or do we want to create a newsletter? So again, it's going to prompt you on what the next step is, so you don't have to guess what to do. So for the sake of this, what I'm thinking is, since we just built out our lead magnet, I want to make sure that the people who are signing up for it can actually receive it, and they get confirmation emails and potentially an email to upsell them. So that's what I'm thinking for these. Let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to say, let's build out a confirmation email sequence for this lead magnet. Awesome. Your bots are always going to need to know your core offer, which is going to be this offer messaging document. Again, your lead magnet is essentially supporting this offer here. Perfect. Awesome. So what we have here, we're just going to confirm the goal of the sequence is to build trust, position our offer, and move the lead toward a team review call for application. That's correct. We're going to want to send 5 emails over 7 days. Perfect. So yes, let's map this out. There you go. So email 1, here's your wake up call. Email 2. Beautiful. I would just make an adjustment to say, make email 1, or maybe add an email 0 to deliver the lead magnet with a confirmation. Awesome. Perfect. So email 0 is lead magnet delivering confirmation. What you're going to see here is going to be interesting. And if you actually read what these bots are trained to give you, it's going to make you essentially an expert marketer over time. And I think this is going to be crucial for your business, because if you can master how to generate leads, then you're never going to have a revenue problem ever again. So right here, it's going to show you the type of email, which is a lead magnet delivery, the archetype, the psychology behind this email. So this is showcasing empathy and future pacing, and also the tone of this email as well. It'll give you some subject line options, and it'll also write the entire email for you. I will say this is honestly isn't half bad. What we're going to do instead, though, is I'm going to take this framework that it gave us for these 5 emails. Copy. Perfect. And I am going to want to document this here. This is going to be the post registration page. Okay. So now we're going to head over to Claude to execute on everything for us. All of these 7 tools have given us everything we need for the strategy of this process. If you have any questions about these tools or how to get them, just leave a comment in the chat. I'm more than hoping to share that link. Let's go ahead and clean these up a bit. And now let's go to Claude. So what's interesting about this is you're going to see some common principles as we're going through these. With each of the 7 tools that we built out these documents behind the scenes that train these as a bot to execute on specific tasks. So that's why they are so diligent on following and making sure it has the workbook, to making sure it's asking you follow-up questions and guiding you throughout this process. I have the exact same documents uploaded into my Claude, and my Claude performs very similar but different. So let's start by writing out the emails first with this. So what I'm opening here is what's called a Claude project. Let's make this wider so you can see what this actually looks like. So with the Claude project, it works the exact same way as building out an AI or building out a custom GPT, which are those tools that we saw on ChatGPT. And so we basically upload all of these files. So this bot is trained on, I believe it's over 1,000 or so emails that we reviewed, we studied, we figured out why they worked so well. And we had it train the bot. So you can see 25 email types, email sequences, etc. Now what I'm going to do is, you guessed it, we're going to start off by uploading our offer messaging document. Copy and paste. This is, again, the fuel for everything that we're doing moving forward. And I'm going to give it context with the lead magnet as well. So I'm going to say, this offer messaging document is a core offer, and we're building out the email sequence for the lead magnet offer, and these are the details for the lead magnet below. I'm adding the details of the lead magnet. And now what I'm going to do is get this email sequence. Now I want you to write the entire emails for this 5 email sequence to make sure we're delivering on this lead magnet. All this is working. Is this helpful so far to see the entire process of mapping out the offer and actually building out this marketing system? Let me know in the chat. We're keeping up here so far? Good, good. All right, let's see here. Beautiful. So what's cool about this is we have it trained to basically give us exactly what we need to just copy and paste everything into our Go High Level. So if you're not familiar with what Go High Level is, this is our CRM. This is where basically our entire business lives and breathes. So this is where all of our email automations are hosted, where all of our funnels are hosted as well, as you can see here. This is where we do everything, send out newsletters, etc. What I'm going to do to go ahead and kickstart this process is I'm going to build out a form so that way we can start collecting these leads into the door. So we're going to go to sites, forms, and click on builder. We need a refresh. What's really cool about Go High Level is, and you'll notice this with all the tools that I use, is I always make sure that these tools are staying AI forward. I don't want to commit to a tool for my business that is not constantly looking at staying ahead with AI. So let's go ahead and open this back up. I think it just timed out. Okay, we're going to go to sites, forms builder. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a copy of this form. We'll call this certification lead magnet. Awesome. Just making sure everything looks good. I want to change this from claim my seat to grab the guide. Grab the guide now. Awesome. So the reason I do the form first is because that's what's going to go ahead and trigger the email automation. So if email automations seem very intimidating, that is why Go High Level is for you, honestly. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to create a new workflow. I'm going to start from scratch and check out the new AI updates they have done. Anybody here use Go High Level already? I'm curious if you've been able to see these updates. They now have AI embedded into almost every part of Go High Level. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this entire sequence. Oh, email body 5. Of course, you're going to want to go through this, review, update the booking links, etc. And so I'm going to say is set up a confirmation sequence for whenever somebody fills out the certification lead magnet form, and I want you to use this 5 email sequence below. Again, I'm using Whisper. I'm going to say, please create. Awesome. Paste this. Enter. So it looks crazy, but basically what this is going to do is it is going to build out the entire sequence for me. All I did was give it a very simple prompt. I copied and pasted the 5 emails that Claude just gave me. So let's go ahead and review these emails while that is loading here. Okay, perfect. So what's really cool, and maybe I can pull it up. There it is. What's really cool about Claude is you don't have to tell Claude to speak like a human being or not to sound like AI. Claude is naturally sounds like a human being and it writes really well. What I mean by copywriting is almost an art form of how do you use your words to get somebody to purchase or to take the next step to work with you in your business, okay? So Claude is really, really good at doing this task. So you'll see here, it's giving me subject line options. The email body is good. What I look for in an email body is it has this visual flow to it. It doesn't have, where every single line is super, super long. It has some emphasis, as you can see here. Does some words in all caps. It has a good flow to it. And I can even tell it to have more personality and it'll start sounding a lot more like me. It has some italics in here. It's just really clean. So check this out. It automatically connected. So I'll go ahead and confirm. There you go. It created a new form for me, which is cool. So all I did was copy and paste everything. You guys saw it for yourself, right? I used my AI tool, the email builder, to create the strategy for how this workflow is going to be built. I took that strategy, I took it to Claude to execute and write all 5 of my emails for me. And I copied and pasted this into Go High Level, and it built out this entire workflow for me. I didn't have to do a thing, essentially. I didn't have to learn how to use automation tools. I just had to learn how to copy and paste a simple prompt, because this entire AI process told us exactly what we needed it to do. So as you can see here, we took these 5 emails. I put email 1 into here. It waits 24 hours. We'll turn off that advanced. We'll just make some small edits into here. And it's going to send an email every couple of days. And this is how you essentially have automated follow-ups built out for you. We could have this go on until we set a goal of the goal of payment is received. So let's see here. We'll click on this product. So now we could actually build out entire workflows to continue to follow up with people until the payment is received or until they purchase a specific product. How insane is that? And this is all powered by AI and using these tools together. And so the reason we use Notion to keep organized with this is we want to know what's working, why it's working, and we want to study our success so we can continue to have success over time, right? So we're going to just come into here, paste those emails from Claude so we can make sure to document these as well. And you know what? We'll save this. And then we could also create a newsletter in the exact same chat. So I could tell this, create a newsletter to promote this lead magnet. Have the link be leadsandrevenue.com/certification. And I want you to create a newsletter with a stream of consciousness and really embed my personality into it. So now let's have it write an email newsletter. Again, we build these tools so we don't have to be prompt engineers. These tools know exactly what I'm looking for, so I can talk to it very nonchalantly, very casually, and it's automatically going to reference its knowledge base, such as how it's doing right now. So everything is already built out for you. You don't have to learn AI anymore. You just install these systems into your business. Any other CRM alternatives? I don't have any other alternatives. I've been with Go High Level for almost 5-6 years now. So that is, I'm committed, I'm loyal. So, okay, here, check this out. So we have this, write a newsletter promoting this lead magnet here, and you'll see it already knows my personality. It says, this is pure Natalie, personality driven with the energy that I bring. Here's some subject line options. So you'll see, I like this one. I watched a founder waste 48K on AI tools that don't work. That's good. Let's check this out. So I got off a call yesterday with a founder who told me his team has all the AI tools, ChatGPT, Jasper, some automation platform. And I asked him, okay, so how fast are you producing campaigns right now? Dead silence. And so you can see here, this is a pretty good storytelling mapped out by Claude. This looks really good, honestly. A little bit long, but I think it's pretty good. And so now I could have it just, now that it has the context of our offer messaging document, the lead magnet that we're pushing, now this can start creating all my newsletters for me. And we have our newsletters always planned out around 14 to 30 days ahead. We always try to stay at least minimum 14 days. So if that looks like, sending out one newsletter, one email a day to the entire list, we have our AI tool build everything out for us. And again, we are an hour into building this offer, and we've built almost every single part of this so far using AI, and not too many brain cells while we're at it. So let's go to the final step of the process. I know we skipped this, but we're going to go to our content creation tool. So you're going to see here, we have our content creation tool built out into Claude. What's really cool about this process is I'm going to upload my offer document. Really cool stuff that Go High Level is able to do here. Okay, now let's go to our offer messaging document. Again, we always start our conversation with that, so we don't have to explain ourselves. So I'm going to say, let's come up with ideas. Very casual prompt. Awesome. What is my goal right now? My goal for my content is to get people to sign up for my lead magnet. So I'm just going to give that context. My goal is to get people to sign up for my lead magnet. Lead magnet. So another step that we can have here, and you're going to see this in the template on Notion under the offers, we have a section here where we track all of our ManyChat call to action keywords. So these are keywords that anybody could comment on our Facebook, on our Instagram. They could comment the word burgers, and we can have a trigger go ahead and make sure that it automatically sends them the link to access the lead magnet. So you may see this if you're on, let's say, Instagram right now. We have a caption. At the end of it, we say, comment burgers if you want access to our free certification guide. And it'll automatically send it over to you. So I'm going to give that context as well. I'm going to say, our ManyChat call to action keyword is the word burgers. Why not? Awesome. So what you can see here is this AI tool that you're going to have is going to start coming up with ideas and frameworks for you. So you'll see the idea here is, I watched a competitor's marketing team move 3 times faster than mine did using AI. Or I calculated how much time marketing teams waste every month not using AI systems. The number shocked me. Okay, these folks are pretty good. I bought 12 AI tools last year. My team used 2 of them. Here's why I was a problem, not the tools. That's good. Let's go with idea number 3. So I'm going to show you right now how you can take one of these ideas in the same AI chat. We could take one of these ideas and turn it into multiple pieces of content. Realistically, you could turn it into 10 to 15 pieces of content, but for the sake of example, we're going to stick with 3 for time. So check this out. So this tool is trained on the best formatting for each social media platform. Okay, so this means that, if we're making a post on Facebook, that's going to perform different and be formatted different than a post you make on Instagram or LinkedIn. So we want to make sure that we optimize each post for each platform. And the way that we do that is this bot does all of that work for you. So whenever we put a post into it, it's going to automatically reformat it into the best carousel, Facebook post, and LinkedIn formats on your behalf. And we have Cheyenne here on the call, and she tested this, and she was able to get some pretty good traction with Threads. So we built out a Threads tool as well. That's basically like the Twitter version, or the Instagram version of Twitter. So let's check this out here. We have our Facebook thread version. We have this post here. It has our hook that we mapped out. And then we have each of the comments. So if you're not familiar with these types of posts, I can show you an example of this. Maybe we'll post it live. Awesome. So we'll post this live because why not? So what the Facebook formatting is I'm gonna fix this a little bit. Awesome. There you go. So this is what the Facebook formatting is we make a post here with the hook with a solid background. Here, we'll make this red, we'll post it. And basically what you do is you just copy and paste the comments below. And these are really, really good for engagement. These perform very, very well. So we'll go ahead and copy and paste all of these. We'll post it for the sake of example. And of course, we use a tool called Buffer to be able to automate this process as well. Awesome, done. Let's go to LinkedIn. Now we have the best LinkedIn formatting here. This one's a little bit long, so I'm going to say cut the LinkedIn post in half. There we go. And of course, last of all is we have our Instagram post as well. So you'll see it's going to tell you exactly side by side what the carousel will look like, and you can make any adjustments as needed. All right, cut the LinkedIn post in half. And of course, I'm just doing this for example. Always make sure to read through everything. Awesome. We just posted on Facebook and LinkedIn. Done. So as you're mapping this content out, now you can see how not only can one content idea multiply, but you can do the same thing with content that you already have in place. So if you have any YouTube videos, podcasts, if you're open to recording 10 to 15-minute videos a week and just using that to funnel into this content, now you can basically fill your entire content calendar with different ideas and angles, right? So you'll see here, if we're going to have content associated to an offer, we just click on this button here. We go to the content calendar, and now we can start mapping out all of our content here, right? So from here, just paste our content. We have it associated with the offer. And now we can make sure that each offer has content associated with it, so we know how much we're promoting it. And this also allows us to keep track of what's working best, what's not. If this offer is more popular than this one, then let's focus on this offer. So that's how we start making these data-driven decisions, because we have everything organized in one place in our Notion dashboard. Okay, all of the offers, all of the emails that we create, email broadcasts, this is where we would have copied and pasted our email newsletter into here. We could go back and do that very quickly. Oh man, the content created by Claude compared to ChatGPT is miles different. I always recommend going with Claude compared to ChatGPT. ChatGPT just is unreliable in the fact that it doesn't sound human, and you can tell that it's written by AI. So that's where a lot of this AI quote unquote slop is coming from. However, whenever we use Claude, it uses more storytelling. It just sounds more human and like an actual human being sat behind a computer and actually wrote it. So I definitely recommend, if you're going to take one thing away from this call today, is make sure that you use Claude for content or anything related to writing. So what you're going to see here is we can collect our newsletters. So we'll collect the entire thing. This one's a bit long, but that's okay. And this is how we stay organized with all the newsletters that we send out as well. So we know that this newsletter is connected to this offer. And again, if we were going to go to this, we can see what all of the newsletters look like and everything that's been sent specific to specific offers here. So with this entire system, this allows you and your team, if you have one, to be able to stay organized with everything that needs to get done, whether it's going to be from tasks, as you can see, what needs to be done with this tasks. Maybe we need to finalize the funnel. We can start assigning it to different people on our team. This is how we're able to build, and I'm right at like an hour and a half, thank goodness. This is how we're able to build out these entire funnels. Obviously, we did a speed round today, but now you see everything that goes into actually building out and launching these offers, making sure that you have email follow-up systems on the back end, making sure that you have content driving or traffic driving, content driving traffic to all of your offers through multiple different platforms. And all of this is facilitated by these 7 tools that we create. So we use, again, referring back to this here, is we use ChatGPT for the brainstorming, for the ideas that we're building. And then we use Claude to actually build and develop our marketing assets. We map it out, we organize all of it on Notion, and that's how everything comes together. And so that's how we've been able to track all of the offers that we do for ourselves and for our clients. So if you want access to the 7 AI tools that we went through together, go ahead and just message me on Instagram. So Instagram at Natalie Megan, and message me the keyword CMT or 777, and it'll send you the direct link to be able to access all of those. How was that speed round? Who here is caught up with me nerding out? What questions do we have? Go ahead and leave them in the chat. We're pretty good with time so far, so I'm super excited that we were able to get through everything. Let's do a quick recap of everything that we have gone over so far. What about the Notion? Yes, this Notion template or this Notion system that we've created is an absolute beast. So we installed this entire system, and this is how we launch offers for our clients. So if we took a look at this, you can see all of our offers in progress, all of our SOPs are hosted into here. So we have, for instance, a stop writing like this guide to make sure our content doesn't sound, like AI, choppy fragments, etc. We have our knowledge base templates, our offer messaging template like we went through today. This is an actual beast. This is how we stay organized, and this is how you do marketing at scale, leveraging AI. So Jaden, I mean, you saw it, 2 weeks of work done all before lunch on a Monday, if we're serious in getting it down, right? And we have all these tools to be able to do it. I mean, if we're going to just kind of double down on this, you do the brand story once, you don't have to do it every single time you're launching an offer, right? So we're looking at this process as if you've never done a marketing campaign in your life ever before. Realistically, whenever we do this, we're focusing, basically, we're always doing competitor research as well. So if I'm going to nerd out for just one more moment before we do a recap, let me show you what we do. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. So we also have this funnel swipe file. So since I believe 2023, we've been collecting this data, which is pretty insane. Let's take a look at what our earliest one is. So since 2023, we've been collecting data on some of the top funnels, not only in our industry, but other industries as well, our clients' industries. And this is how we start studying our competitors. We keep track of everything. So whenever we're launching a lead magnet or a webinar, we're able to go to these links and look at the webinars that they've done, reference these as examples. And we also have direct links or images. So for instance, this one, we study all of the copy and the formatting of this. So what's cool about this now with AI is Go High Level does have a funnel designer. So if I were to upload this into Go High Level as a reference and give it the copy or the words that are going to be on the screen, Go High Level will be able to at least get us 60% there with the design. If we think about it, without AI, what did this process look like back in the olden ages, right? I can't even imagine what marketing was like back then, where you had to have a strategist, a copywriter, a designer, a tech team, a content person. I mean, that's just 5 people on your team on its own, who are most likely getting paid anywhere between, let's say, $2,000 to $5,000 a month, right? How much time and money is this saving you, especially considering that generating leads is the most important thing of your business. So this is, like you said, Conrad, this is replacing entire departments. And if you are running an operation at scale, then you will want to have a couple people on your team to execute on this. So that way you as a founder can go and do what you're good at, go network, get more clients. But it's the easiest time to launch and scale. So let's get a raise of hands of who here already has a Black Friday offer. Let's see. Conrad, I know you do. We have a couple people as well. Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's, New Year, new me. You can make at least, let's say minimum 20 to 50K each launch. And if you want to make money quickly using this, you have to launch offers quickly and you have to stop letting your ideas just sit in this idea graveyard, right? So everything we just built, I think we're pretty good on time. I think it was a little bit under 90 minutes. Most people don't get that much done in an entire week or an entire month, honestly, right? And of course, we know we didn't review everything and make sure everything was perfect, but we got 80% there. Isn't this so much better than just talking about concepts and theories and what we should do and actually just showcase how we actually do it? That's how we just start moving faster, because that's who I like to be surrounded by, is people who move fast, who have ideas, and who don't just sit on this graveyard of ideas where they say they wanted to do something, but they never execute on it. Or they just let the idea rot in their Google Drive blank dashboard and nothing actually happens. That's the danger. And that's what's exciting about AI, is just constantly testing and iterating. Because how much dead ideas are costing you? I mean, if we're talking about the last 4 months or even over the next 4 months, with all Black Friday, the holiday specials coming up, how much money are you leaving on the table by either A, getting in your own way, or B, not using the tools that are in front of you? That's at least over $600,000 in unrealized revenue. That's how much it's costing you. You saw me just do it in under 90 minutes. I would say we got around 80% there, right? So just because you want to do it you don't have an excuse not to get it done anymore. I'm taking your excuses away. You're welcome. There's no more weight on your back. So we're done teaching. Moving forward with any live events I'm speaking at or any presentations, I want to do things like this. I want to make sure that I don't give you more things that are going to just sit on your desk that you never get to. Let's actually get things done. Let's talk strategies. Let's execute on these. Let's test what actually works. And let's reiterate the process that we need to go through to make sure that you can set yourself up for a solid offer over the next, or at least before 2026, which is crazy to say. 2026 is right around the corner. There's less than 30 days left of the year. Let's take a look at this. Phase 1, extraction. So the first thing that we talked about is mining the gold, getting your voice, getting your story out on paper, because your voice and stories is going to be what's going to fuel your funnels, your emails, and your content. You don't have to type a thing. We'll hop on a call. All you have to do is tell us everything about you. We'll extract everything and we'll start building out your machine for you. We'll build out the engine. We'll prompt this so that way you have this custom AI clone that's built on you. What you didn't see behind the scenes is my email builder is trained on my voice, my story, my offer. All I had to give it was a new context of the new offer, this supporting offer that we were launching. We'll build out your funnel strategy. We'll build out your content. Everything will essentially be done for you. And last of all we'll do is we'll hand you the keys, which is the Notion system, your Go High Level follow-up system, making sure that you have the right Claude tools set up as well. You have all the resources you need to be able to just press play. Because we're not in the age where you have to hire a team anymore. I mean, yeah, you could figure it out yourself. I mean, who feels confident that they could go and launch an offer now? You got a good idea. Yeah. Conrad's like, yeah, I'm going to go build an offer tonight. Maybe I'm going to do another Black Friday offer. You know, you could do it yourself. You could hire professionals to do that for you. We talked about it just a moment ago, but this is the typical cost for hiring a team to do all of this for you. These investments typically make sense if you're already doing at least over 7 figures and you have the opportunity to be able to build a team to support you, so you don't have to be involved with the marketing process. But if you're somebody who's looking to scale at a consistent $50,000, $60,000 months or more, then we're going to want to make sure that we build the system right before we bring more people onto the team, right? Because if you hire a strategist, that's $5,000. Copywriter, minimum $2,000 a page to find a good copywriter. Somebody who's going to actually plug everything in, be the technical person. Now you're in $60,000 per year, minimum, right? Or just 10K just to start, right? Every new human you add to the chain adds a zero to your bill, unless you allow us to install this system into your business. So you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is press the on button, show up for content, and you get this system running. You start getting the traffic through the door. That's as simple as it gets. We're in the trust and attention economy. As the founder, as the person who's representing your business, it is your responsibility to focus on generating traffic and trust that you have a system that's going to support you on the back end. So if you see my content, that's how you got here. You've been watching my emails. You know that the way I've positioned myself is not just teaching you AI. I want to make sure you're actually building a business that's buying you freedom. So instead of just giving you the ChatGPT prompts or the 7 AI tools, I want to install these 4 permanent assets into your business instead. So whenever we set this up once, you can feel confident that you can walk away and you have that entire system to support you with any launch that you do moving forward. You have the resources, you have the Notion system to stay organized, and you have all of our trained tools installed. So the first asset, let's go through this. The first asset is we're going to do the brain soul extraction for you. So you'll see the form that we went over earlier in this call. We're going to take that a step further and we're going to do around a 60-minute interview with you. So you're just going to sit down. We're going to map out your stories, your tone, your psychological triggers, and we're going to create what's called your brand Bible. If we thought about this maybe a couple years ago, the real world value of that would be around $5,000 for a brand strategy workshop. People charge that just for brand colors or just for a logo, right? Second asset is we're going to build your digital twin for you. So this is going to be a custom AI model trained on how you think, how you talk, what you do, your entire story, everything about you. Imagine how much more innovative Apple would be if they had an AI bot. AI bot of Steve Jobs. I feel like they would be coming out with better things than the iPhone Pocket that just came out, right? So imagine that you have your entire brain installed into an AI model that you can not only use for yourself, but you can share with your team, you can share with your clients. This is going to be your digital twin. You see people such as Alex Ramosi. Alex Ramosi just built and sold his AI twin for $6,000 on his last launch. That's how much value his digital brain alone is worth. Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, they are doing the same thing. Moving forward, every business is going to have a digital twin of the founder to help lead strategy in different departments. We're going to build yours for you for your marketing department. The third asset we'll build is we'll install this high ticket sales system. So this is going to be those 7 steps that you just saw. We'll write your landing page copy for you. We'll script out what's called your video sales letter, which is going to make sure that people are pre-sold before they get on a call with you or your sales team. And we'll also write the email nurture sequences for you. So everything is literally installed to your business to make sure that no lead drops off at any given time. And there's no longer the excuse that they weren't followed up on. Isn't it the worst thing whenever you call a business and they take 3 days to follow up with you? That's not going to happen with your business.